If I were to just come out here and say, hey, the best marketing plan is you should do A, B, C, D, E, that wouldn't be truthful, because everything changes over time and every market is different, every company is different, and your competition is different. Hey guys, welcome back to Builder Funnel TV, and in today's video I'm going to go over the best marketing plan for construction companies. Now, I know what you're thinking, that's a big ask. You know, what is the absolute best marketing plan? And I'm not going to give you specific tactics because that would be untrue to the best marketing plan. What I'm going to give you is a framework, and that framework really has three major components. And the first one really is that it's full funnel. The next one is consistent, and then the final one is it is ever evolving. We're going to dive into the first one, which is it's full funnel. So what does that mean? It means we need a few different sections. If we look at a funnel like we've got here, we've got top, middle, and bottom. So we need top of the funnel marketing activities. These are things that create awareness for us. They drive traffic to us. These are people that are in kind of research mode, right? They're thinking about a project. They could be a great prospect down the line. They're a potential buyer. We always want to be filling our funnel with people that are at the top. And then we've got people that are in the middle of the funnel. And these are people that are starting to engage with websites, and they're a little bit further along in their decision-making process. And they're maybe starting some initial conversations with some companies, or they're maybe downloading some things on websites, and they're really starting to get into the details of how am I going to solve this problem? How am I going to execute this project, whether that be new windows or a brand new kitchen or building a custom home. They're into the weeds. They're not in the dreaming phase of just like, oh, this would be nice. They're actually tactically starting to figure out how they're going to solve it. And then there's the bottom of the funnel. And these are the people that are actively ready to buy. They're ready to start the process. They're ready to start spending money and actually moving forward. A great marketing plan, and I would argue the best marketing plan, is going to be full funnel. So you're doing marketing activities that are driving top, middle, and bottom of the funnel engagements with your prospects. So let's talk about the second one. Second one is consistency. Now this is something that it can get really tough during busy times because you're busy, you've got tons of work, and you don't really need lead flow. But what we've seen time and time again, and not just in this industry, across the board in marketing, consistency pays dividends in the long term. If you stop and start, you lose a lot of momentum. When you start something up and then you stop, you a lot of times don't get the fruits of that initial labor because marketing takes lots of touches. And there's a good chance that if you start something, you start getting people that are at the top of the funnel. And so if they're at the top, they're not actually ready for that conversation. And then if you stop your marketing activities, a lot of times, then they don't see you anymore. And so you are not consistent in their world. And that is one of the biggest reasons consistency is so important. The other one, though, is especially with digital, if you're not blogging regularly and doing SEO and participating in social, you get active and things start happening, and then you stop and they start declining right away. So you got to keep the train moving along, and you have to keep that activity going. Even if it feels counterintuitive and you're super busy and you've got all the projects that you need, you will need them later when things slow down. So consistency is a big one. And then the final one is ever evolving. So the best marketing plan isn't a static set it and forget it marketing plan. And this is something I always tell people that end up coming to us, and we have a conversation and see if it's a good fit to work together. And I always ask, hey, what are you doing for marketing now? And if they tell me something is working, I'll never tell them to stop, because if it's working for you, keep doing it. But if something's not working for you, then you're kind of at that decision point of, have I been consistent for long enough? Okay, maybe, maybe not. If I haven't, I'll keep going. Or, you know what, I've been consistent, I've been tracking my data for this, and it's just not working, then change it. You have to be able to put tracking mechanisms in place so that you can measure your marketing as best as you can using all the tools at your disposal, and then you make decisions and move forward. So you start with a plan, you execute it, you measure what's working, the things that are working, can you double down on those? Can you just do more of them? That's an easy adjustment. And then the things that aren't working, go ahead and stop or trim them back at least and put those dollars somewhere else. And that's part of that evolution of your marketing plan. If you're doing what you were doing 5 years ago for marketing, that's probably not a good thing unless you've been tracking the data and that's working really well for you and you're like, hey, this plan is still working. I've confirmed it's working because I'm looking at the data. So if I were to just come out here and say, hey, the best marketing plan is you should do A, B, C, D, E, that wouldn't be truthful because everything changes over time. And every market is different, every company is different, and your competition is different. And so there isn't going to be a one-size-fits-all plan. There are frameworks that work really well. There are certain tactics that work really well for a while. But to be honest, you always have to be evolving your strategy. And I am under the thought process that you should always have, 80 or 90% of your marketing plan hopefully is working pretty well and it's fairly well optimized. And then that last 10 or 20%, you're always experimenting. You're trying something new because that's part of that evolution. And you won't know what the next big thing is, especially when it comes to digital in terms of the next social network or the next medium like video or podcasting. Those things, podcasting didn't exist, a decade ago or however long it was. You always have to be experimenting, and that is also part of the evolution. So again, as you're thinking about your marketing plan and trying to create the best marketing plan, you want something that is full funnel, so you're targeting top, middle, and bottom. You need to stay consistent, and then it is ever evolving. All right, guys, that's what I got for you today. We'll see you next time here on Builder Funnel TV.